What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know this video won't be the most popular thing on my channel since obviously I talk about Call of Duty the majority of the time. But I had to go ahead and discuss this game because I used to discuss Splitgate 1 a long time ago when it first dropped. And I've always had Splitgate 2 on my radar, and I gotta be real with you guys, I am really impressed. Before we dive in, though, if you guys are interested in more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I will be streaming Splitgate 2 today over on stream. So if you guys want to check it out and hang out with me or hop into the open lobbies, you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. So ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, for next-gen consoles and for PC, the open beta is live. Now, I don't know how much longer it's going to be live for, so hopefully, when you guys hear this video, you can download it as fast as possible. Lucky for us, this isn't Call of Duty. It's not going to be 200 gigs. It's only a 10 gigabyte update for the alpha. So that is outstanding, and it won't take up any storage. But I'll be honest with you guys, I highly suggest you go ahead and do so. I am very pleased with this alpha. Again, when it came to Splitgate 2, I was a little worried that it was going to be just... what's the word I'm looking for? Just not very inspirational, not really, in touch with what Splitgate is all about. They were talking about adding in specialists and, this, that, and all of the above, which would kill the vibes of Splitgate. And on top of that, I was worried it just wasn't going to be enough to consider it a Splitgate 2. And it was going to be kind of like an Overwatch 2 scenario. But I am so happy to report to you guys that this is not an Overwatch 2 scenario. This is the best way to go ahead and bring up, an upcoming game into the franchise. They handled it perfectly. And not only did they handle it perfectly, they are being ridiculously open with their community. They're interactive, they're talking to individuals, and they're doing exactly what the X-Defiant devs were doing, taking feedback and adjusting things as time goes on. You guys know, I'm a huge fan of developers who keep their community in the loop and takes their feedback all the time. And they have been doing this bit by bit, piece by piece. And I'll be real, the current spot that this game is in, I just want them to drop it right now. It plays phenomenal. For an alpha, I was expecting it to be laggy, choppy, buggy, full of problems. I lagged maybe twice, 2 times in the 2+ days that I have played this overall alpha. And again, like I said, I'll be streaming it today. So if you want to see the performance of it live with your own eyes, please go ahead and do so, because I guarantee on this day, it's not going to be lagging either. But I will be honest with you guys, although I'm having a fun time with this alpha, I still don't think this game is going to be overly popular. I think this game is going to stick in its own niche. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's going to die like Splitgate 1, but people don't understand. Splitgate 1 never died. It stayed in its niche, and the developers stopped supporting it because they needed to hyper-focus the next game, because for those who don't know, it was 2 people in a freaking dorm who put this game together. So obviously it could use a better engine, it could use more dev time, it could use more money and resources, and that's what they did here. They did a complete upgrade to what Splitgate 1 was, and kept the identity while also evolving what this game is all about. But again, I think that it's still going to be in its own niche because of 2 reasons. One, because it's an arena shooter, and as we all know, arena shooters aren't as popping anymore. The funniest part about it is that people call games like COD and, all that other stuff arena shooters now, when in reality, arena shooters have been things like Doom, Quake, Unreal Tournament, so on and so forth. That is a true arena shooter. And Splitgate resembles those games so much with its own twist. I don't know if it's going to be too popular because people don't care for those games anymore. But there is a tight-knit community here who really enjoys this title, and I feel like this game might help put, arena shooters back on the map a little bit. Not to the point where it's stupidly popular and everybody in the world wants to play it, but I do believe a decent amount of people will come in and enjoy this title. And another reason why I feel like it's not going to be the most popular thing ever is because of the skill gap. You have to understand, portaling is always going to be an intense skill gap that is going to differentiate who actually puts time into the game and who doesn't put time into the game. And it's going to get very intense and very hectic to the point where casuals might be a little scared away from the experience. But with that being said, let me tell you why I think that casuals will honestly give this game a shot more than Splitgate 1. They balanced out the portals pretty nicely. Not only did they make it a little bit more consumer-friendly, with only having to hit 1 button to introduce the portal, whereas in Splitgate 1, you had a guaranteed key for each portal, so you can open and close the same portal with a singular key. Now, it's just kind of, you hit, for me, it's E. So I hit E once, and I hit E again for a second portal. I walk through it. If I want to close them, I hit a button, and if I want to continue to open up more portals to keep traveling, I just keep hitting E. E again, E again, E again. I think that's going to be simpler for a casual player to hop into the experience and get used to. And the maps are a lot more consumer friendly. Splitgate 1, there were so many portal spots that it did indeed become overwhelming. And again, if you're versing someone who's absurdly skilled, who, is insane at the game, they don't even have to touch the ground, let alone run. They travel by simply portaling because there's a portal on every square inch of the map. Here in Splitgate 2, it's not to that degree. It's a lot more toned back. There's more gun-on-gun action and positioning map knowledge. But the best part about it is that the portals aren't phased out. They are still 110% the centerpiece of what makes Splitgate Splitgate, and you can tell. But like I said, it's not going to be to the point where, casuals are going to be like, okay, I can't handle this. This is way too much. And the best part about it is that the community didn't like how few portals were in this game, and they actually added some additional portals into the mix because they wanted to listen to community feedback. Right now, in its current spot, from my play sessions that I've been having, it is really in the perfect in-between for a casual player to enjoy, while a sweat competitive player can still, learn, adapt, and get to the top of the bracket. And, you can see and sense the skill gap. But like I said, it's not going to be as overwhelming as Splitgate 1, so hopefully casuals will be more, happy with the overall experience. That's probably the biggest thing when it comes to these two games from Splitgate 1 and Splitgate 2. Being able to get casuals to stick with the game, because that was its hardest aspect because of how competitive it was. And then, of course, the specialist, which, honestly, the more I play with them, the more I don't really care. It doesn't really faze me. And again, the portals are still the main bread and butter. They're not overwhelming. I will say, though, please, you guys know this, I say it in every game I play, remove the wall hacks. I am so tired of wall hacks being a designated ability for pretty much all these games out here who decide to add in specialists or heroes, whatever you want to call, the people that they introduce into these games. I'm tired of wall hacks. That's really the only thing I can think of, but the rest of the abilities are solid. Having a shield, having an overdrive so you can run faster. It's not to the point where it's like, okay, this is like a Overwatch level of learning curve where I really had to dive deep into these characters and understand who they are. No, not at all. You hop in, you pick something that you think is going to benefit you a little bit more, and then it all goes back to your portaling skills and obviously your accuracy. So they've been implemented pretty nicely. And the best part about this alpha here, which I am so excited to talk about, guys, for those who don't know, when it comes to Halo, I am a big team battle fan. I love big team battles. It's my go-to. Don't get me wrong, 4v4 is always fun, but I like the casual experience of big team battle, and I like the atmosphere of big team battle in Halo. They added it into Splitgate 2 here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, there is big team battle, but the problem here is that it's 3 teams of 8. Let me tell you guys, though, something. This map is huge. It's ginormous, and it does concern me a little bit here that they are thinking of putting together a BR, because if you just, and I highly encourage you guys to go ahead and do this, if you just branch out and go, travel around the map and explore, there is so much open space, so many areas where you can have good duels, good battles, but the OBJs are never placed there. It's just a bunch of pointless space. Not pointless because it could be good combat, but nobody is going to go there because the game, or the developers don't put anything around there to actually take advantage of. So it's like, it makes me think, why is it all this extra play area? Are they planning for something bigger? And that concerns me because Splitgate, the last thing they need to do right now is worry about tapping into the Battle Royale scene. They need to worry about really driving home what makes Splitgate Splitgate. And if they want to branch out later, by all means, go ahead and do so. But make sure Splitgate sells. Concerns me because, again, you got to remember, the 2 guys who got, funded for making Splitgate 1 hired a bunch of new developers and a bunch of people to, kind of oversee the project now. I'm hoping that they still have the majority of control and they could have a final say if these things are introduced and, you don't just have some random guy, a suit, come in and say, oh, yep, BRs are the trend. You got to make a BR. That's the only way that we'll actually go ahead and keep this pumping. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that's not the case, but the map is really big. But besides that, I still think the map is gorgeous. Tons of fun to play on. Again, it's 8v8v8, so it's going to be 3 teams. And, honestly, my biggest concern is I think it should be 2 teams. That I'm just going to say it right here, right now. I think that is the biggest problem with big team battle and what makes it so obnoxious. Nobody wants to really play OBJ because it's just way too hectic. Now, when it's only 2 teams, you can kind of position yourself and, use your map knowledge. Okay, so my team is set up here, so I'm guessing the enemies are going to come there, and they might be able to portal here. So let me position myself in this spot so I have the best advantage. You can't really do that in big team battle, ladies and gentlemen, because you're always getting third party. Always getting third party with how many different teams are up in this experience. That is what kind of kills the flow for me. Still tons of fun. I like it. But I just think that, 3 teams on this map just becomes a bit too chaotic when it comes to the objectives, and it'll be way more fun if they just have 2 teams of, like, I don't know, 20v20 or something like that, because again, the map is freaking huge. You need a lot of players to fill up this map and make the play spaces actually feel like play spaces. But I don't know what the player count can be, because again, the game has portals and that can affect, connection and how the game is running. So I don't know what they're working with here, but I still think that 2 teams is the best way to handle things with the big team battle. But overall, I'm extremely happy they introduced a mode like this into Splitgate. I didn't expect it whatsoever. I honestly thought they were just going to stick with 4v4 because it made sense for portals. But after playing 8v8v8 with portals everywhere, it's awesome. It's tons of fun, and it's really cool traversing such a large map by portaling from, spot to spot, right? People think you're going to have to, there's no vehicles like in Halo, so you can't really transport yourself quickly to the combat, but trust me, with how portals work, it is wild how you can fly through the map. And once you learn the rotation of this map, you'll get them down and you'll be able to traverse it very easily. The outskirts being more of a, long-range rifle dominant, space, and then the center of the map being just a straight up arena death trap for shotties, SMG. It's so wild. It's a great gameplay. Again, my only concern is that it's so many teams that it becomes a little too chaotic at times when people are, kind of huddling around certain objectives or points of the map. I will say I am just very excited to see this mode progress. This is probably what I'm the most excited about, which is an unpopular opinion. I know the majority of the hardcore Splitgate crowd is going to say 4v4 is where it's at, and they want to see that thrive, and I'm all there for it, baby. But man, like I said, I love big team battle, and I'm so excited to see their creativity when it comes to this mode and what their plans are when it comes to different style of maps. I would love to see, some maps that might be a little bit more smaller, maybe more condensed for SMG combat, because again, in this map, the center is definitely for SMGs and shotties, but it's just really the center. You have some SMG spots scattered across, but other than that, you're usually going to be seeing carbines, snipers, and stuff like that on the outskirts, plucking each other off. I would love to see a map more so, that has lanes for ARs, carbines, and stuff like that, but also is, just more condensed. Like I said, I am just so excited to see the future of this mode. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to yap your guys' ears off. I just wanted to throw this out there because, I've always been a fan of Splitgate. And although this isn't what my channel is about, and like I said earlier, I know it's not really going to probably catch on for too many, I wanted to get it out there. It's not going to really maybe, interest too many of you guys because I know you guys are COD heads, and this is more so for the Halo community. But if you want to branch out and try something different, it's just, I really think this is the one. It's fun. It's free to play. You can go ahead and download it on your next gens or, PC whenever you feel like it. I think this is going to be a better version of Splitgate 1, and I can see a very solid future for this title. Again, nothing insane. It's not like you're going to be like Apex Legend where it drops and it becomes the best game known to mankind. Not even close. It's going to stay in its niche, and I don't think it's going to pop off as much as Splitgate 1 popped off when that game first came out and everybody was yapping about it, I don't think it's going to get to that level, but I think that this game is solid enough that it will be able to get its own core foundation of players, and it'll be able to grow from that. And grow and grow and grow, especially with Halo Infinite kind of, it's not dying down or dwindling down too much, but let's be honest, it's been out for a while now. They did what they did. I think the Halo community is ready for something fresh, and now is the time to strike. If Splitgate can drop this game now, it will be able to compete heavily, and I think that it will be able to hold on to a lot of the player base, especially since it might take a few more years until Halo might see anything different coming in that specific franchise. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, today I'll be playing some Splitgate, so if you guys want to check it out, I have a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.